This video isn't for the Elvis fans out there. This is for the skeptics who today or who were around this time don't like Elvis Presley. This is a video meant for you so you know how hard his life was. Believe it or not, he had a hard life. And most of you haters of Elvis Presley think that just because Elvis was the king of rock and roll, that he had the eagle jumpsuit, that he had this jumpsuit, that jumpsuit, this type of jacket, that he had an easy life. He didn't. Let's start off when he was born January 1935. He grew in the black site Toluca, Mississippi. That's where he grew up. His father was a farmer who couldn't make much because of a drought that was in the South then. It was hard for him. It was even harder for Gladys, Elvis's mom, because she worried, will Elvis die like Jesse, or will he die of starvation? The concept of death was hard to even come to play for Gladys because Elvis had a twin brother, Jesse Garon, who died stillborn. And throughout Elvis's life, growing up in Toluca, Mississippi, the fact that Elvis could die of starvation or this or that because of the neighborhood they lived in was a strong possibility, and it was hard for Gladys to process that, even just the thought. Vernon was put away for 3 years because of a bad check that he got for a pig. And the pantry and the people from their church helped Gladys raise Elvis until he was 7. Then Vernon got released and he was let out of jail. Now, Elvis's life growing up in Toluca, Mississippi was really hard. And even when they moved to Memphis, it was harder because Vernon didn't have his job as a farmer anymore. He didn't have his job as someone who raised pigs anymore. He didn't. He had a job as an electrician. Didn't have much training for it. Made only $2 an hour. And they were charged $1 a day until they could pay the rent off. That's a real hard life to grow up with. Knowing the fact you could be kicked out of your house, or the fact that you may live on the streets for the rest of your life and see your mother-in-law or your mom, or that was Elvis's grandma, die, and you wouldn't have enough money to keep her in the hospital. Just having the fact in your head that you would have to let her go, have an unmarked grave, even that was for Jesse Garon as well. Elvis had a real hard life growing up with. You may think that he had it easy, but he didn't. Even when he started. When he went to some records, he just went there to record a record for his mom. But out of that one event, after Marion Keisker recorded Elvis's voice, Sam Phillips says, "This is the kid I was looking for." He could sing black music. He could take gospel, R&B, country western, and combine it into this sound that Sam Phillips liked. And Elvis got his fame from him. A lucky turnaround for Elvis when he was 19. A real lucky turnaround. If Elvis didn't get that big break, if something from God didn't happen, Elvis would have been on the streets to die. He wouldn't have even been known as one of rock and roll's greatest artists. Now, he has his fame, he has his money, he's fixing up his life, gets his parents' car, he gets them a house. Now he's drafted. One of the worst things that could happen to Elvis Presley, being the king of rock and roll, being at the height of his career, just starting out, he gets traded by Sam Phillips because Sam Phillips thinks Carl Perkins would be better than Elvis and have a better impact than Elvis. And he gets betrayed by Sam Phillips. He gets drafted into the army. Like, what more could he take? Then he meets Priscilla Buell, who's only 14. Elvis likes her. Elvis wants to marry her, but she's 14. He could have possibly lost his career if the German Associated Press would have found out that they were in a relationship. He could have lost his career. But thank God that didn't happen. But what was worse was his mom died. There was a hardship that Elvis would never recover from. He was so devoted to his mom that when his father was in jail, he would say stuff to his mom to comfort her. And the women that Gladys May interacted with thought was cute. But now with his mother gone, me and Priscilla was the closest thing that Elvis seen in her eyes as his mom. He starred in the movie Love Me Tender, 1956. Gladys cried because he dies at the end of the movie. Elvis assured his mom that it was just a movie. He won't die anytime soon. But after the death of his mom, drugs, cigarettes, alcohol, obsessive eating, and depression kicked in. 5 things that would affect Elvis' career and his life. After he came back from war, army, there was no war when he was over there. After he came back from there, what was there to do? The Beatles were dominating his hits. People were starting to forget who well he was. Until 1968, his record sales went up for Elvis's Back, GI Blues, Flaming Star was a flop. I mean, his life was hard then. Once again, it was hard. It seemed easy street, but it got harder. 68 special, it was a hit. Elvis found out that he was still the king of rock and roll, and no one forgot him. But at this point, he's married to Priscilla. He has a daughter, Lisa Marie. But Elvis is with other women, his co-stars, and makes the relationship between him and Priscilla a little bit sour. He assures her that they're just rumors, that they're not true, but Aunt Margaret says that it's true, that they were in a relationship, that Elvis promised her that he will marry her. That's the same thing he told Priscilla. But he married Priscilla, not Aunt Margaret. I mean, this was what his life was. This is what he lived by when he was famous. He had to go with his friends all the time. He couldn't depend being by himself. He couldn't count money because he didn't go to college. It was hard for him to do all the necessary things that he needed to do. And this is what brought to his downfall. After the Loa from Hawaii concert, Elvis did everything they ever wanted to. He was in movies. He made himself known to the music world. He made his mark that he wanted. He's already known to everyone. But now he's just continuing, doing nothing. Nothing in the world that would say, listen, might want to quit. He didn't want to. He didn't want to, but he did. He got a weight problem. Drugs got worse. Alcohol got worse. Cigarettes got worse. And he died at 42 of heart problems because his heart just couldn't take it anymore. All the stress, Priscilla being gone from him, Lisa Marie not his life anymore, every day not his life anymore. It was all hard for him. He died August 16th, 1977. Stress, heart problems, and drug problems. Now, the people that dislike Elvis, well, there you go. That's his life. It was very hard. When he started, when he grew up, even when he was a celebrity, it was hard for him. He didn't have an easy life at all. It was a very hard life. So I hope you learned something from this whole thing about Elvis's life. And that'll make you listen more to the meaning of his songs. Why he was so religious with God. And why rock and roll moved him. And why it wasn't a racist. Even despite the rumors that he was. That he stole from black community. He grew up with it. He grew up on that side. So I hope you learned something from this, and other Elvis fans have me backed up.